wanted to talk to you today about dry burning these little coils here. These are the new dual coil from Kanger Tech. This is a 1.5 ohm, same as my other here. This is an old single coil, and for a long time people have said that you cannot dry burn these. I'm going to show you how to do this, and I have seen methods to try and clean these out. People will soak them maybe in alcohol, warm water, or even just try to dry burn these things when they are still enclosed like this. If you've ever tried it, you know it doesn't work too well. It gets very hot. You don't really get a lot of the crap out of it. There's a better way to do it, and that's what I'm going to show you today. However, I want to start by how I came to this idea by starting with the old single coil. Again, this is a 1.5 ohm. Very simple, and just in case anyone hasn't seen it, and it also explains why my method works. So the only thing I've done right now is to rinse these out. I'm not doing anything else special to them, and normally what you want to do is after you rinse them, take them like this and blow them out. That'll get all the water out, blow it into a paper towel. So we're going to start with the single coil here. So all you do, give it a little wiggle, just like that, top comes off. Now if you take a close look at that, you can see there are 2 wicks right at the top here, and I'm going to try and pull, there we go, pull those out right there. I found that if you want to get a bit of junk off them, just roll them around a little bit on the paper towel. That will help. Generally, yes, these will burn after normal use and get worn out. I tend to replace the coils when they get really burnt out. I'll try and rinse them and do what I can. Another idea is maybe you could use some cotton or something like that. So this is just a rinsed out coil just under a tap. I'm running a 3.6 volt on this, and many of you have seen this with the single coils, and you can see how well this works. And you can see all the junk coming off that, and I'm going to wait until my coil gets nice and glowing there. And most of the sizzling is done. Most of what you hear left is just water. And then when you're done, you can simply put that back together. It's a little bit of a trick sometimes to put that back. And then, there, just dry burned a single coil. Now, usually what I'll do is I'll rinse this under a tap again. And the reason is sometimes you can get some ash in it. Don't want to be vaping any of that. Now on to these guys. You can take them apart. I have seen it done where people have pulled the top off them. You're likely to damage them. I've tried various ways myself. In short, it's painful. There's no real easy way to do this, except for the method I'm going to show you now. So again, rinse it out under the tap, which I've already done, and I'm using, this is just a AeroTank Mini I'm using. Take note of where my air hole is. Now, when I thought about this method, I began to think, what's the difference between burning these coils closed up like this and dry burning them open as I just showed you? You can see it works a lot better when it's open like that. The answer to that is airflow. So what we're going to do is simply give this a bit of airflow. Now keep in mind I'm going to use about 3.8 volts, not high. And as you know, if you've tried to dry burn these without, you're going to be using a lot more than that. It's going to get very hot, which is not good for them. There are potential problems where you could melt the connections for the coil, you could cause a short, nothing good. So this is the method I figured out. We're just going to give it some airflow while we dry burn it. Remember, I'm going to be using that hole there, and watch a bit of magic happen. As you can see, how much garbage I got out of that with just a low 3.8 volt. And this is not a special battery by any means, it's just a simple 650 milliamp battery, nothing special. See if I can get any more out of it, but I suspect it's probably done by now. Now when I'm done, I'm going to go rinse this off again. Now it's important to note that this airflow, I believe, is the key to doing dry burns. And the reason for that is you need the air moving to cause all that garbage in there to combust. It needs a bit of oxygen, and you want to push everything out, and more importantly, you don't want to overheat these. With the old, this actually does not get very hot. As you notice, I had it right on my lips. It was only warm. And you notice it did not take very long either, which doing it the other way without putting any airflow to it, it takes a lot longer than that, and it will get very hot. From what I understand, that can be potentially dangerous because you can damage the terminals for the coils, you can cause shorts in them, and so on. I've seen no issue with the material inside the wadding burning. I pulled one apart and it appears to be a silicate, which will take fairly high heat, so no worries there. I've been using the same coil for a couple weeks, and I'm very obsessively clean with my coils. I generally will swap them out after a couple days, if that. Usually about 3 tanks and I'm throwing it out. And I've been using this for a few weeks non-stop. So, I don't believe that this will have any of the other issues that come up with dry burning these. You don't need to pull it apart. It's very quick and easy. So I hope some of you find that helpful and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.